Hey everybody, I'm Miss Gorham and I'm here with Miss Corba.
Hey guys!
Miss Corba and I have known each other since kindergarten. We've been best friends since then, and we've actually had the same classroom teacher from kindergarten up until the 6th grade.
Yeah, 6th grade.
And
a long time.
A long time. And now Miss Corba is an environmental scientist, and we had just talked about STEM careers. So Miss Corba's career obviously falls under the science, math, engineering, technology. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
All that sort of intertwined with what you do?
Yeah. And yeah, in some way it does, yeah.
And I had told her how we're studying different careers. So I had taken our questions that we had formulated in class and within your STEM classes, and we're here to interview the environmental scientist. So first, the 6th grade wants to know, how did you know you wanted to become an environmental scientist?
Okay, that's a really good question. So ever since I was younger, I've always loved to be outside, whether that was, playing in a creek, running through the woods, just looking at plants. And from that, just my love for being outside, I was like, oh, I could actually make money from being outside, and also helping save the planet and reverting it back to its natural ecosystems as sustainably as we can.
Well said. Where did you go to school? And I'm sure when they're asking school, they mean college or university.
Yeah, so I went to a university called Susquehanna University, and there I went for earth and environmental sciences.
And how long was that major?
Was 4 years.
It was a typical 4-year program?
Yeah.
Would you have to go back to school at any point, or could you if you wanted to?
I could go back to school for my master's, so I got a bachelor's of science in earth and environmental sciences, and a 4-year degree is enough to get a job within the environmental field. But you actually don't have to go to college to get a job in the environmental field.
Interesting.
I would consider construction work to also be environmental based, because they're trying to see how they can build something without harming the environment. So it comes into play, but you can get a better job from going to college.
Yeah. I understand. So how would you describe your job as an environmental scientist?
Okay.
What does your day-to-day look like?
My day-to-day. So I work for a water company, and it's called Aqua PA. And day-to-day, I go to different communities, and there I asked to go into their house to inspect their pipes. So my company received a grant from the Department of Environmental Protection to replace lead or galvanized steel piping, which lead pipes are not good pipes to have because the lead leaches into water, which can then lead to lead poisoning. And galvanized steel piping is okay, it's not as bad as lead, but because they received grant money, they want to replace it for the customer. So day to day, I go to people's houses and I inspect their pipes just to make sure that they don't have lead or galvanized steel.
And how often do you see a house with lead pipes or galvanized steel pipes? And then what process happens after the fact?
Okay, so I actually never saw lead pipes,
Oh.
which is a good thing. So I work based out of the Northeast area, but my company is based outside of Philadelphia. They actually have found lead pipes out there because they're older homes built in like the 1800s. But we have found a lot of galvanized steel, ranging from homes built from like the 1900s until 1989.
Okay.
Yeah. So since the company received grant money, the company will get in contact with the homeowner to connect them to like an excavator to find a way that they can come out and replace the pipe for them as invasively, like, so they won't really tear up their front yard or anything. So
sort
it's
of
smooth.
Right, a non-invasive way to
Correct.
replace and correct the issue.
Yeah.
So when you go to these sites, what do you have to wear for these jobs in terms of protection? We talk in our lab that it's important when we're working with materials for experiments to wear goggles and, you know, make sure our hair's up. And what do you have to wear? Any safety gear, anything while on the job?
Yeah, for sure. So safety is actually a really big thing in the environmental field. One, for your own safety and safety for others around you. So we like to wear boots or shoes where, like, if something falls on your foot, it's not gonna break your foot or like break a toe. And then we like to wear long pants just because sometimes, you know, you're walking through grass or leaves, you just don't want to attract any ticks easily onto your skin. But a big thing for my job is to let homeowners know who I am. So I actually have to wear identification, so a name tag with my name, the company I work for. And then I also wear a safety vest. You probably see these a lot when people are doing construction, just so people know, like, who I am, like, this is the company that I work for. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then just, you want to look presentable.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
So definitely what you would wear, like, just nice work pants and boots.
And how about tools when you go to people's homes? Do you bring anything with you to test the pipes or to sort of inspect them?
Yeah, so usually where we're going to inspect the pipe is in a basement, a crawl space, a garage. And most of the time it's dark in there, so we do use flashlights. Whether it's on our phone or like a handheld flashlight. And then to test the pipes, to a property of galvanized steel is it's magnetic. So I carry around a magnet that I put on the pipe, then it helps us know that it's galvanized.
Interesting.
Or I use like just something to scrape the pipe, because sometimes over time there will become some buildup will just build on the pipe, and you want to scratch it away to see if it's copper, plastic. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
They're only the tools I use. You carry pretty light, thankfully.
Yeah.
But
how, I don't want to say simple because they're so effective in making sure that our community is safe. So simple but effective.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So these are more specific questions that our sixth graders had asked.
Okay.
The previous questions were more so questions just to introduce you, but also questions that they had asked. But these were some of the more common, interesting questions. So, do you travel for work, and does an environmental scientist typically travel for work, and how far?
Okay, so yeah, my job is completely on the road. So in the field. So you can be an environmental scientist and work in an office or a lab, and then oftentimes like go out into the field to collect samples. But I work 100% in the field. I drive all around northeastern PA, from as far as the Honesdale region, so Honesdale, Scranton, all the way out to Shenandoah. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's another coal mining town. But yeah, it's pretty normal for environmental scientists to travel.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very big part of the job because you have to go out into the environment. So you can travel to a site within a day, or sometimes employers even have you stay overnight in a hotel.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Miss Corba actually did part of her study abroad in Italy. So that's something to consider if you're interested in
Yeah.
traveling. You have the option and opportunity to study abroad when you major in the sciences. So what is the coolest part about your job or what you've seen in your study?
Yeah, so actually, funny you bring up studying abroad. The coolest experience I had within, I would say, my study is I monitored a turtle nest on a beach in Italy, and I watched turtles hatch from their nest, and then the turtles that did hatch, we took them and we analyzed them just to get their measurements to see if they were healthy enough to go into the ocean. And then from there, we helped guide them into the ocean. It was a really, really cool experience.
That does sound really neat. And finally, this is going out for all my aspiring environmental scientists. What advice do you have for someone who is looking into a career in environmental science or in any of the STEM careers?
Yeah, definitely, just go for it. The environment is all around us, so I wouldn't limit yourself into thinking about just studying in one certain area. Like there's water all around us, there's rocks all around us, the air is all around us, referring to like meteorology and the weather. So the field is very broad, and I would say just to go in and do whatever your heart tells you to do.
I like that. That's great advice. Miss Corbett, thank you for sitting down and letting me interview you. I hope that maybe in the future we could bring you in and have some follow-up questions for the 6th graders. So, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Bye.